What up, guys? So I went ahead and picked up the Sniper EFI Holley System 2-barrel 2300. So I didn't like how the carburetor was dumping fuel down, and there was a lot of other issues with it just idling after I set everything. And this is like real build stuff. You kind of come across some things that may or may not work, and then you test that and figure that out, and then lose some time, and then test that, and then ultimately pick up what you had originally intended on buying. So about the Sniper unit, what we'll do is we'll unbox it real quick. I don't think I lost a day yesterday this weekend because I did go into work. We were super busy, and so today and then this morning, Sunday, I spent half the morning picking up certain gaskets that I needed. I still have to pick up a bushing for the coolant temp sensor that's going into the head for this unit to operate. They say it's self-learning, but everything that I'm talking to people, a couple people say you really need it tuned. There's a guy that will remote tune it. He'll actually take control of your laptop while you're sitting here, and he goes in and tunes it from his location. But first, before I go that route, I just want to get it all installed. So this is, let me bring you over here, and then we will unbox everything and see what we got. It is the 2300 Master Kit, and the finish is black. I went with black because the whole engine is black, and I kind of like how it looks. Natural finish is a little cheaper. Then you have the black and the gold finish, which are a little bit more expensive, but overall, for me, it was worth it to get the black. So what I'll do is I'll pause it, flip it around, and then we'll start taking things out. So here we go. So we have some gaskets, wiring harness, and this is truly like a 4 wires to hook up. Basically, your power and ground go directly to the battery. Actually, I'll open this up. So power and ground, these have to go directly to the battery. The pink wire is the ignition, so keyed on right there. The yellow wire goes to the tack signal off the HEI distributor. I am going to be using the stock distributor. I didn't want to spend like another $900 for their Hyper Spark system. So this unit only will control fuel. It won't control timing because of using the stock HEI distributor. I did see somewhere on YouTube that the guy did get the stock one to work with timing control with some heavy modifications to the HEI unit, but that is not a route I want to go. So yeah, so there's that. This would be a part of this little wire is part of the timing control if you have that set up. Okay. Keep the foam. So here's the actual unit itself. So it does have an internally regulated fuel pressure regulator. So I do have to do a return line back to the tank. This is your inlet. This is looking like the IAC valve, idle air control, and this should be the MAP pressure sensor. Yep. It looks very good. But a lot of people say it looks good, and some people have issues with them, but a lot of people I'm talking to actually have a lot of positive to say about it. So I'm going to go with the positive and kind of disregard all the negative. So let me put this back in the bag. Here's the box. Oh, okay. So here's some more wire looms, wiring. It does come with a Bosch O2 sensor. Here's the O2 sensor gasket thing. So basically, if you don't have a place for the O2 sensor, you can drill it out, mount this with the gasket, and supposedly you can put this through and it'll be fine. I'm using the exhaust manifold from the '94 Chevy S10, and they do have provisions for the O2 sensor. The golden rule is actually it only needs to be one bank. So you don't have to do, you know how you have two exhaust manifolds that come down, and mine comes into a Y pipe, and then from there, there's also an O2 sensor bung on that part. But it states it just needs from one bank. So, and it's got to be like 18 inches before the muffler, and like 5 to 10 inches away from where the exhaust merges to be one, on the one bank. So that's what I'm going to do. It's got the little handheld, so this will be ran into the truck. I am going to hide this. This is going to be going behind the glove box door. And it's got a stylus. If this will reach. I think it'll reach. If it won't reach, then I will have to... Oh, it's got an SD card. If it doesn't reach, I will have to extend the wires so it reaches up into the cab. I'm hoping that's not a problem. We shall see. So, oh, and a coolant temp sensor. They say you can run this in the head or in the intake manifold. The intake manifold port is being used by my Dolphin gauge temp sensor, which is also running the radiator fans and the on-off command for the AC compressor fan. So this unit is capable with these wires to run your coolant fans, AC fans, and stuff like that. I want everything that I've got going through my Dakota digital box is running perfectly, so I'm just going to not put those in. Like, I'm not going to hook those up to this unit. I'm just going to let this unit control the fuel, right? The airflow, air, fuel mixture, and fuel. This unit will also, which is right here, this unit will also run the fuel pump, and it does have a 40 amp, is it 40? Yeah, 40 amp relay already attached to it. I do have my fuel pump right now. It's too small. It's actually a carder made for a carburetor unit, so it only puts up, as I've posted before, a max 7 pounds of pressure. This unit requires 58 point something PSI of pressure, which is what the internal regulated unit in the actual sniper unit does. I bought the master kit, so the master kit does come with another box right here, and that's the fuel pump stuff. So let me put this in here. Put all this stuff back in. It does come with some gaskets, coolant temp sensor, like I said, right there. So since I'm going throttle body to the sniper unit, it does require a spacer. Now my spacer to make throttle body to the 2300 flange that the sniper unit is. The carburetor that I have now is a 2300 footprint, Holley footprint, but it's like a polycarbonate plastic spacer. It's all they had at the time, back in when I purchased everything. Now a lot of people are getting, a lot of companies are actually starting to produce the flanges in a billet, aluminum piece. So that's what this is. So I purchased, and it's a very nice piece. So I purchased this piece. So this, it bolts onto the intake, and then the sniper unit bolts on top of that. Okay. So yeah, so this is good. This is a way better piece than what I already have on there. So I've had somebody tell me that I'm going to have to open this up because of atomization for the sniper unit. I'm going to see how it goes because this is actually made to flow according to the carburetor situation. So I don't think because I don't know, but I don't think I'm going to alter this at all. I'm just going to leave it as is and bolt it up because when I mount that to this and I open up the butterfly, it's just seamless. Like, you couldn't ask for a better piece. This right here, I got this off from Amazon. Yep. So like I said, it bolts. It comes with hardware, and that bolts straight down. That. And this right here, this is the Sniper EFI fuel kit without the return. So you can purchase a filter kit that has the return really close to the engine. I'm going to have to run the fuel line from the front, from the Sniper unit, back to the engine for a return line, because with the internally regulated pressure, obviously there's going to be extra fuel, and it's not considered a deadhead regulator, so it needs the return line back. So I have to do some fuel modifications, stuff like that. So here's the kit. It does come with like various fittings, stuff like that, a couple filters, some clamps, 20 feet of hose. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. Like I said, Wix filter, and some crush washers, some more fittings from Earl. Dash 6. Yeah, so all this is dash 6 stuff. The biggest thing I'm finding is that I can't run my braided lines, which is kind of a bummer. Because, let me open up this bolt. So this is the fuel pump. Now if I look at this, I'm pretty sure it just has nipple ends on it. Yep. Yep, nipple ends. So maybe, yeah. So they're ends like that. So it has a slide-on thing. But maybe I can make something work so I can run my Dash 6 fuel lines that I've already made. So this is definitely not going to be a, hey, let's hook this all together and get it done today kind of deal. It's probably going to take a couple videos or a couple weekends to get all this set up, because I am not an EFI guru here. So this is all new territory for me. I'm not going to lie. But if I'm going to get better fuel mileage and then maybe later down the road be able to control my timing, what have you, another filter. So this has a pre-filter and a post-filter. Then why not go that route, right? And this is good for up to 350 horsepower naturally aspirated. Like I said, it is the 2-barrel version. I do have an older, well not older, but 90s 305 with the throttle body setup on it, and another 700 R4 sitting in my engine room, which is a shed on the other side. Yeah, I've had that for probably 3 years now. I just have never done anything with it yet because I really like the 4.3s. So what we'll do is, hold on here. So what we'll do here is we will start removing everything off that top half of that motor, meaning air cleaner carb, linkages. I have to reset all the throttle cables and TV cables and all that stuff. I have to set the coolant temperature sensor in the block. Like I said, I'm putting it in the head, and I know that the head runs a little hotter than the actual port off the intake manifold, but Poly says that that's an option to put it in, and including or watching their install video, that's exactly where they put it, is in the head. So I'm gonna go that route. And then, yeah. So let's get you all set up and I will start disassembling things. We're gonna kind of put our hands up in the air on the roller coaster on this one and go, ooh, because I have never done this with an EFI unit, and it's basically taking a couple steps back to put this all on there. So, but I think overall it's going to be a better fit for the truck. There's one gentleman that actually has done this with his 4.3, and the thing's a beast. He tows with it. I mean, he tows a John Deere tractor and this 3800 truck, and I've been in contact with him, talking to him more about the details, and he is definitely on board with helping me set whatever up that I need to set up. I have no idea where in the country where he's at, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to set this up on a different type stand to kind of overview the top of the motor, and then we will start taking it apart. Let's get into this one. Alright guys, so I got that off. So now I'm working on the adapter plate. You have to put the studs in first for the carb to sit down. And just like you saw how I took that all apart, these have to come down through there, like that. So with this adapter plate, I don't know if you can tell, but if you look at this bolt, it's not threaded all the way up, and this part is a little thicker than this part, and these are ones that are threaded that I took out of the polycarbonate spacer. These ones have an issue with seating in their little pockets. So these ones at the hardware that this came with won't work because it sits too flush, or it sits too high up. And the only reason why it sits this flush is because I had to use my little tool here, and then I went in there and I opened it up a little bit. But the biggest concern is these guys get threaded up into it, right? When you use these, due to this being kind of not shouldered but not threaded all the way up, when you go to put it in, bear with me here, it stops because there's not enough room for this to go all the way through. So I grabbed the old hardware off the old unit, and it threads all the way through, and it works. The problem is the one bolt that I have here has some goobered up threads right here, so it'll start, but being this is a billet aluminum, I don't want to try to just drive it on home, because right there it stops. It's supposed to thread all the way up, and then these are supposed to set at like 10 foot-pounds to lock them into place. The sniper unit sits on top, and this whole thing holds it down, right? So I really only want to do this once. So it looks like I have to go and get some of these guys right here, or one of these, the right length, to bring it up through. I tried to clean up the threads, but it's pretty bad. Yeah, bad enough was trying to cut new threads, and I don't want that. Not with something like this. So I'm gonna go pick up another one of these bolts. I'm thinking this is the one that came with it. This is the ones that I have. I did have like a really big, thick spacer washer or gasket that was on it, but I'm gonna go with the one that came with the unit right there. It's really thin. Hold on. So this is the gasket that I had on it. It came with that plastic adapter. This is the one I'm gonna put on it. You can see the big difference. That's why I had to get longer studs. So what I'm gonna do is I just set this down on here, put the carb on there to see how it would fit, and it fits perfect. Even with these longer ones it fits, but there's a lot sticking out. I don't want a lot. So since I'm gonna go and get new bolts, I'll probably just get this size height right there, and it should be good. So we'll be right back after I run down to the parts store and grab another bolt. All right, guys. So I've got my bolts. I did get one that was exactly the same size, but I want the smaller ones, I think. So I got those. So let's take these out. Okay, guys, so I have to make these so they're better flush mounted. That's why they call this hot rodding, right? Sometimes you have to alter parts to work. Let me show you. The problem is that it's not completely flush, so I need to keep wallering that out with my bit here like that to get it to sit flush. I could put it all the way in and just kind of like, but I don't want to do that because I need this mounting surface flat. With the polycarbonate piece, it's plastic, basically. So as I tighten this down, it would seat flush. This is billet aluminum, so it will not sit flush. Now I tighten it down. And I really want this to be right. I don't want to have to redo this. So what I do is I just take this and go. A little bit at a time. See, the throttle body gasket goes like that. But these guys sit on the plane of the intake. So I have to open those up. So it's drill or chamfer, then test it. Chamfer, test it. Until I get it. Be right back. Okay, so I've got them flat now. So the instructions say quarter hand tight and then the 1/4 inch in, or torque to 10 pounds. I don't have, well, I have a torque wrench, but there we go. So there it is. Let me get all these out of the way. All these shavings. So that goes like that. I got a new gasket, so I'm gonna put this on there. So let's get you over there. So there it's mounted. I did have to put, what is that, like an inch or 2-inch spacer in there so I would clear the AC hoses coming out of the air cleaner, or from the compressor for the air cleaner. I do have to figure out the bracket now, because this is the low car stuff, and the low car one, as you could see before, it just doesn't quite reach it. So I'm gonna have to make something for that. I'll see if Holly has a bracket cable for both of those. But yeah, so that's mounted up. So now let's figure out that cabling thing, because the fuel lines and all that, that's gonna be pretty easy. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so looking at the instructions on this unit, since I have a 700R4, the kickdown cable goes to this post. This is for like a TH350, and then up here is where the throttle cable attaches to. So I have the geometry all right, according to the book. I made a bracket that comes off here that this will attach to. I got it over there drying. I painted it black. It's just a bracket made out of 16 gauge steel. Once I get that all mounted up, we'll mount this up and then attach it and see how that goes. Technically it could run without any of this stuff because it is fuel injected now, but I want to do all this while we're up here. My whole goal today pretty much was just to get the unit mounted and get all the cabling for the transmission and all that all mounted up so it's all straight, and then I can start working on the fuel back. but really it's about getting that mounted. So, be right back. We are back. So, there's the tiny bracket right there. This is up against here, keeping this flat. Throttle cable and the 700 R4. Everything is very smooth, and even the gas pedal inside is way easier than it's ever been. So we have that right now, and now let's figure out our placement for the O2 sensor. I do have one port down here, and I have one on the other side right there, and that's the other O2 sensor, but that one doesn't have enough room from the muffler to it. It's supposed to be 18 inches. That's not going to work, so I'm going to stay on this side. Hopefully I'll have enough room for that to come up like that. Alrighty. Alrighty guys, so what we got all finished up was the entire unit installed, the linkage hooked up, coolant sensor, and O2 sensor. So let me swing you over here and talk a little bit about the fuel pressure regulator and pump and some of the wiring, and we'll go from there. Give me a second. Alrighty guys, so I put the fuel pressure regulator and filters all together, and it's like this long. Let me show you. It's gigantuan. I mean, this is just utterly ugly. I can't even put this underneath there and think it's going to look good at all. So Holly, of course, has a solution for this. Instead of going with all this stuff and having to run a return line from the sniper unit all the way back to the tank, they make a fuel pump with an internal regulator already attached or built in with a pre-filter. And so basically you can use your Dash 6 in. It actually has the fitting for it for Dash 6. So one line comes in to that unit, and then one line comes out of that unit to the front for the sniper unit. So within that unit, it has, so we'll just imagine for a second that this right here is the one unit that has the regulator. So you'll have the one coming in pre-filter and then going out to the sniper. And then on the top, it has a port that goes up, and that's the return line that will go to the tank. So it's internally regulated at like 60 psi, and that's exactly what the sniper unit is regulated at. So instead of running the return line all the way from the front all the way to the back, you just run the return line from the pump back into the tank, which will probably be, well, it'd probably be, in my case, probably 2 foot because of where I want to mount the fuel pump underneath. And that Holly part number is 12-875, and that's for the Dash 6 lines. I'm going to go ahead and order that tomorrow, and it should be here the next day or the day after, so that'll be next weekend's project for that. And then number 2, this 10-pin harness that plugs in, and all this stuff controls your cooling fans, AC fan kick on and off, timing stuff, and a couple triggers, you know, like 5-volt triggers out for various things that I'm not using. So I'm on the fence whether or not to depin 9 of the 10 wires that I need, because I only need the one for this application, which is the tact signal from the stock HEI distributor. So basically depin these so it'll clean up the harness, so it'll leave one, save all the wiring though, and I'll put it with all the Holley stuff. So if I do happen to decide, hey man, I want to control my timing, so let me go buy that $900 distributor and the HyperTune system or HyperSpark or whatever they offer for this. They offer a couple different options. Then I'll have all the wiring, I'll just slide them back in the pins because all these pins are marked. Yeah, they're marked F, G, K, J, K. F, G. Anyway, so they're marked alphabetically, and the wiring corresponding goes into the alpha slot. And the book goes in great detail on where these wires go to be able to put them back in the slots. So I may do that. That way it gets rid of all this stuff that I'm not using right now. I'd hate for all this just to kind of dangle back there. That would really be kind of messy. I mean, I'm spending $200 on a fuel pump with an internal regulator because I don't like how that looks underneath there. I don't have a problem depinning all this stuff. But I did go to that extra mile, and in case I use it all, I put heat shrink over the ends and just melted them, heat shrink them up, stuck them in the loom, and then if Bob's your uncle, that looks great, and then just run it down with the rest of the harness. So I'm kind of on the fence with that. It's a little bit more that I can do for the rest of today since it is a short day for me. So I think that's going to probably wrap it up for this one. So this will be part one. Next weekend I will try to get the fuel lines all finished up if the pump comes in, get all the electrical stuff all ran. I do have to lengthen the cables for the handheld unit because it won't reach from there over here where I need it. It's about 5-7 feet short or so. They do make a CAN, they call it a CAN extension cable. I may just purchase that so it's just plug and play and plug it up instead of having to cut the wire, splice it in, solder it and heat shrink it, relume it. So I'm going to see how much one of those wires costs. If they're not too expensive, I'll go ahead and buy that and get that coming. So let me put this over here. So that's going to be it for this one. I appreciate you checking out the channel. I know it's been last week I didn't put anything out because we were doing family vacation stuff over the weekend, and so this weekend I worked yesterday, Saturdays, and so today is what I have to do. So again, just remember, go out there and build something cool, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.